Shalom, my name is Yehoshua, an American citizen, a didactic scientist making this video from Jerusalem. I'm the author of Humanomics trilogy, which is the new East-West convergence model, about 2,500 pages and a few hundred graphics that will be published on the internet. And more particularly, one of those paradigms of the trilogy is the new economic paradigm. The video here is a comment on John McCain's admitting the Iraq War was over oil. It still is. 4,000 boys paid with their life for the most stupid, specious decision in America. Here comes George Bush Sr. pushing his kid into the White House, hands over the national political infrastructure for the Republican National Committee, gets him nominated, gets him elected, and then gives him a president from behind the curtain, Dick Cheney, to run the White House. So it's pretty pathetic. Let's add to the to the robustness of the stupidity. Halliburton, former chief, Halliburton, the company Halliburton, its former CEO is Dick Cheney, and Halliburton is one of the largest contractors in Iraq. Last year, 2007, 15.3 billion in revenue, and guess how much profit? 3.5 billion, which comes out to 22.87% profit, folks. That's almost 47% gross profit. That's incredible. You know any companies you can tell me that make that much money in America? Okay, so there's something smelly in the DOD and the contracting, and but that's the vice president that who is operating to this day behind the curtain, is the president who pushed us into the war in Iraq for oil, and this is the guy you see and his media network who don't report these things. They all sit on their duff, and they accuse Barack Obama of lacking patriotism, and here is old Tricky Dick Cheney with his flag in the lapel. Look, the difference between a Dick Cheney and a Barack Obama is the difference between object reference patriotism and subject reference patriotism. The latter applies to Barack Obama, and the object reference is superficial, it's phony, it's two-faced, it's spin, and it's conning the American public. Obama tells us what's the truth, what has to be done, what we need to hear, what we need to know, and he's subject reference. He's not a spin doctor, and he certainly is not spinning policies for the benefit of the Halliburtons and the oil companies. Okay, having said that, let's move on. John McCain admits, much to his credit, he comes right to the bottom line, and he says that's why we made the war. Okay, so the Saddam Hussein weapons of mass destruction was a pretext, but there is one thing that we have to say, and it is important to be balanced and to give a balanced presentation. Dick Cheney got one thing right. The intelligence community never was able to pin down Saddam Hussein. They couldn't make a connection. They couldn't tie him to Osama bin Laden. Well, he got that right. The after midnight suitcase with $5 million, which could never be proven, came from Saddam Hussein to Osama bin Laden's hand. He was the banker for that contractor, and so that was the conclusion that Cheney arrived at, and so did a number of others, and that is correct. And but that is not cause to that was not sufficient cause to go into Iraq and to make a war and to cost us 4,000 American lives. And the dumbest decision of all was because of oil, and now I'll say why. Yeah, I'm the author of Humanomics, the post collapse of the local reality. Humanomics is the new convergence model, East-West convergence model of the post-collapse of the local reality. And having said that, we must and we will recognize that it's two paradigms, the most important of which is the new economic paradigm, which is central to the new economy. When you develop that new economic paradigm as American policy, and make it the national development policy, and get a mandate to develop, implement, and cultivate it to retool, retrain, and re-educate the entire workforce in America based upon the new economic paradigm, this will transform fundamentally and structurally the 24/7, 365 movement of hundreds of millions of Americans, not only in America but on the North American continent and in the G9 economies, which is the primary problem that is driving the carbon emissions, that is producing the climate change crisis, has produced it, and the planetary crisis that has resulted would be transformed. And so ending the dependence and the artificial and unnecessary use 24/7, 365 within America and the G9 is the fundamental policy transformation that occurs that makes the war anathema. It was a foolish strategic decision, and had the policymakers listened to the many articulations that were brought to them for the new economic paradigm's development, implementation, and acculturation, which, by the way, just incidentally, will take the American economy, make it the most competitive in the world for the century ahead and beyond. It'll take the American economy from a 14 trillion level to a 45 to 50 trillion level in the next 18 to 20 years. It'll triple the purchasing power and value of the dollar. It will eliminate the national deficit. It will provide for the funding to eliminate the Social Security deficit, and as well for providing for national insurance from cradle to grave free, as well as comprehensive education for all Americans from grade 1 through college free. Now, having said that, that's a win-win situation. It will also produce massive surpluses in the out years of the project. It will cost 4 to 5 trillion investment. 60% of that supply side project's investment will come from the G9 partnering. It's a win-win situation, folks. Now, this is the strategic, this is the vision, this is the over-the-horizon vision based upon international content, world-class science and international content that should have been acted upon and will yet be acted upon. And I have every confidence to believe that President Obama, that we should be blessed, that we have the merit to get him coronated and elected as the next president. He will produce it. He will deliver it, and it's a win-win situation for Americans. It'll create tens of millions of domestic content sustainable jobs by years 4 and 5, indexed at double the present average wages. It tripled the present average wages by years 11 through 14. Having said that, I thank you for listening. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov Ben Avraham from Jerusalem, and I approve this message. Vote for Barack Obama, and let's give John McCain a Congressional Medal of Honor, and 3 cheers for the. He's a good guy, but he's not the guy that we need right now. I'm an American citizen. I live in Jerusalem for the past 22 years. Thank you for listening, and we wish you kabel b'shvilatet, blessings from Jerusalem. It means, that's Hebrew. In English, it means receiving to give. Receiving what? Receiving the authentic you. To give the authentic you to your friends, your family, community, and nation. And that's the central organizing principle of Humanomics, the new East-West convergence model. More about that in other videos. Thank you for listening. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. Shalom from Jerusalem.